Hey everybody, this is Chris with Chris's Gone Fishing 360, and today we are in the office because what I want to do is I want to show you guys 6 ways that you can rig your soft plastics. These are some of the latest and most popular, and we will give you a quick showing of what they look like and how you can set them up yourselves. So hang tight and let's get this show on the road. Alright guys, so here we have pretty much the 6 examples that I have for you, and we'll start out with the basics and kind of roll from there. Now the first one that I want to jump on, here we go. Now this is just kind of your standard Texas rig. Essentially what you do on that is you run a worm hook in through the top of it, bring it around through, and then you run it through and you leave just a touch of the hook sticking out, or you leave that hook completely embedded into that bait. Now that works great for creature baits, worms. It is probably one of the best weedless setups that you run. And then you attach your line directly to it and you run a weight right up to that hook. And basically you want that weight to be free flowing so that it can float around on you, and then it just kind of gives it a little bit more of a natural presentation with the creature baits or even the worms. And this one I actually set it up on a leader. Lose a little bit of feel for it, but you still get a perfectly good working setup with that, and it gives you a little bit of adaptability. One of the other ones that's very common is to use a shaky head jig, and with that it's got one of the spiral bait attachments there, as well as, again, you can go ahead and just, I like to call it all of it Texas rigging when I just put the hook on and leave it embedded inside the soft plastic. But again, that's a great way to the shaky heads are great for working them as a jig, swimming them, a lot of different ways that you can work them. This is one of the versions of a Wacky Rig, and this one's using a Wacky Rig weedless. And you just take a stick bait and you go ahead and just you either run your hook through it, and I actually should have put this in the opposite direction to where the hook is sticking out the top end, or you can use an O-ring on it and go ahead and put that around the worm and put the hook through the O-ring. Now that's a very common one. You can go with the Neko Rig, and what to do that is you just use the Wacky Rig, and then you put a lead nail weight in the nose of it, and then that way that'll actually weight it down and kind of pull that down like it's something feeding on the bottom. Now some of the more current ones that are kind of the more recent fads, and this is a homemade version, is the Tokyo Rig. And the Tokyo Rig, you use a wire to mount your baits. You use a split ring right up in there, and then you attach a spinner and then a worm hook onto that. And then what that does is, again, it gives you a little bit different presentation. Not really, I haven't had a lot of luck working this through the grass, as the weights do tend to pull up grass and weeds. But this works it and gives you all kinds of mobility of the bait in comparison to where the weight and the line is attached to it. Now a couple of the other ones that have come over from Japan, or another one that's come over from Japan, is the Neko Rig. And with that, again, you're using pretty much a very similar setup to the Tokyo Rig. You've got your worm hook on a split ring, and then you put a drop shot weight directly onto that. You can put a spinner attached to that so that you can get a little bit more action and a little bit more of an ability for the hook and the bait to float. Now these are supposed to work really well. I was just watching another article by another gentleman, and he said that it works fantastic for the creature baits, because basically it either makes it look like it's something that's feeding on the bottom, or it makes it look like a craw that has gone into the defensive position. One of the other ones that I've seen recently is called the Dum Dum Rig. Now this one, guys, I literally, just as I got ready to start filming, the O-ring that I used dissolved. I don't know what is on this lure that they're using for, or the soft plastic that they're using for a scent, but it totally destroyed the rubber on the other O-ring that I had. So that's something that's definitely a problem. But this is the dum-dum rig, and normally what you do is rig it just like you would a wacky, except you're using the O-ring down on the soft plastic. You run a spinner to that O-ring, and the spinner up to a split ring, and then you just attach a hook, and this one I used a C hook, onto the split ring, and then a spinner off of that. And what this is supposed to do is this enables the bass to go ahead and pull this bait into its mouth, and then you get a chance to hook it either in the mouth if it swallows everything whole, or you can get other types of hooks on it. But this is another one that I was just watching an article with a gentleman that I'm ready to get out there and try. I haven't tried it yet myself, but I was watching a gentleman that was saying that he had hooked up and caught about 12 bass in a day, and other stuff hadn't been working. He switched over to this, and he stopped losing the hookups and was able to start catching the stuff and bringing it in. So guys, with that said, if you've got any others that are your favorites, if you're a fan of the Ned Rig or some of the other ones that are out there, by all means hop on down and leave a comment. Tell me what your favorite ones are and how to set them up and how to rig them. And also feel free to leave your comments and say whether you like this video and like the fact that we're moving away from doing the 360-degree videos and going into more of a conventional video. So with that said, guys, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. We'd love to have you back for additional videos in the future, and we will see you soon.